Hello, you are listening to Off Radar, It's a Movie podcast. I'm James Smith, a professional film and video editor.
I'm James Eatock, a freelance writer and illustrator specialising in 1980s cartoons.
And I'm Neil Brock, aka NIGE, the man with two names, former film journalist and currently working in the games industry.
Each week, one of us picks a movie that all three of us either haven't seen in many years or in some cases haven't seen at all.
We each watch the chosen movie, return to the microphone and let you all know exactly what we thought of it.
I'd never really had any interest in watching it and I was proved absolutely right.
I think it's amazing. I really love this film.
The film's still a pile of steaming dog shit.
If you fancy joining in and suggesting a movie for us to watch, why not tweet us at Off Radar Podcast
or email us on offradarpod@gmail.com.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe, share, and by all means, leave a review.
For now, strap in, turn the volume up, and let's go Off Radar. Hello, and welcome back to Off Radar. I am Jay Smith, and joined by Neil Brock.
T Thanks.
Who we call NIGE. T Thanks. Tom Hanks. And James Eatock.
Hello.
Who we call Eatock.
You do.
Today, we've got a slightly different episode today. You might have tuned in before where we go through our actor's career. We were going to do that for Tom Hanks, but I listened back to Big and I realised that we've basically gone through the whole of Tom Hanks' career. So instead, between the three of us, we are going to form our top 6 Tom Hanks films. How it's going to work is, one by one, we're going to pick a film. If someone's taken that film, we will have a reserve in mind that we will bump onto this list. And then afterwards, we will debate in what order they will go. Hopefully, this is going to work. If we don't get an order, then maybe we'll leave it up to you guys to email in and let us know.
It's not going to work. It's wrong. It's all wrong.
Nige, how many films have you got on your list?
11.
Well, it's already...
This one goes up to 11.
But we're only... let me get this right, Smith. We're only putting forth 2 films.
Yeah.
And is it the best films or our favourite films?
Well, how do you define that? I mean, when you did the top 5 films of the 90s, it's probably your favourite, I guess. But
well, if you ask Eatock to choose which is better, the Transformers the movie or The Godfather, I think he would have 2 different opinions.
I know. I actually would say The Godfather.
Oh, you're a liar.
Oh, no, sorry. I just realised Nigel's point. Yeah, Nigel's right.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Godfather is an incredible movie. I'd rather watch Transformers.
Top 6 Tom Hanks films.
T. Hanks.
So,
T. Hanks.
How do you define that? I don't know. But
well, they have to have Tom Hanks in, I think, is a good start.
Okay, so does Polar Express count then?
Oh, good point. It shouldn't because it's terrible, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Damn it, I'll scribble that one out. Okay, I think there's only one way of doing this. Let's start. So my first film that I think should go on the Tom Hanks list. Now, when I'm picking this, I'm also kind of thinking, what are you guys going for?
If this isn't on my 11, I'm going to reach through my...
Well, I'm kind of hoping it's not in... Or am I? Not on your 11. Hopefully it'll be in your 11. Okay, the reason I am going for this film, and I don't think you guys are going to put this in, is Captain Phillips. I believe...
It's not on my 11.
Really? Okay. Well, I feel
not on
like
my 4 either. So good start, man.
Okay. Well, I feel like this should be in the top 6, and the reason I think it should. So this film, obviously based on a true story, directed by Paul Greengrass, who has that kind of realism style. I think Hanks's performance in this film is incredible, but obviously the supporting role of Barkhad Abdi, who I think he won Best Supporting Actor for the role. But the film is so tense. I think the editing's insane. The sound design is brilliant. But I think it's such a suffocating film. I wouldn't say like it's an enjoyable in that sense, but I thought that was such a surprise when I watched that I could see it in that top 6, and I know it's a bit of a left field choice, but I deliberately kind of went for that role. But yeah, I take it you guys have seen this.
I have not seen Captain Phillips.
Have you not?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So that's why it's definitely not going to be in your
Well, yeah, this is what makes it. This is where we see where we go with this format and see what happens next. Okay.
Well, I'd recommend you watch it.
Okay, Smith.
Even if it's not necessarily in your top 6, I would. Yeah, Nige.
Yeah, I've seen it. I saw it quite a few years ago. It's not necessarily a conventional Tom Hanks film, which I think is a good thing in the sense of like he gets to show his range a bit more. I think something we've discussed about Tom Hanks in the past is that he quite often plays this likeable Tom Hanks type character, and this he can't really fall back on that. So yeah, it's Catherine Keener being in it as well, who I'm a really big fan of. She's in like Being John Malkovich and a few other things, 40-Year-Old Virgin. But yeah, it's a, like you said, it's that kind of like the handheld suffocation, very unusual style. I think Greengrass has got his own sort of distinct style of filmmaking anyway.
Yeah. And the fact that it's all set as well on this boat throughout the whole thing, it's just so tense. We talked about.
I thought he was a pilot. I see.
He's a boat captain.
A boat captain.
Oh, why did I think it was? What didn't he play a film?
You're thinking of Flight or something like that. What is it?
No. That's the Denzel Washington.
Oh, God.
I'm thinking of the film where didn't he play someone who lands the plane in the water?
Because that was Sully. Yeah,
Sully. Yeah.
No, Captain Phillips is where his boat gets taken over by pirates, basically.
Right. Okay.
Like
I'm not even thinking of the right film.
A Somalian pirate.
I mean, this film was nominated for 6 Oscars. It was no kind of joke in the awards scene. It got nominated for Best Picture as well, which obviously is considered the top prize as well. So it was definitely well renowned around the time it came out. It's actually got a 7.8 on IMDb as well.
So I guess maybe because it's it's one of his more recent films, I guess, as well, where you look back at some of the others I'm sure we'll cover on the list. So maybe I felt like maybe we needed one of those in there to predict in the future.
All right, look, this is the captain speaking. The pirates demand all crew members to the bridge.
Every crew, 1 minute, I will kill someone. 1 minute. Another minute, I kill somebody. I kill all your friends.
Etok, what's the first one on your list then?
Oh man, I've gone for Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, Saving Ryan's Privates.
Shaving Ryan's Privates, because I think it's an amazing film. It's oddly as dark and depressing as it is, because obviously of its theme. I find it's one of those films that if I'm flicking channels and it's on, I will just start watching it. And I think it's just like the performances from top to bottom throughout are amazing. All the little cameos, just such a strong cast. But Tom Hanks leads it, and he plays, again, like we were just talking about, he plays certain characters in a lot of his movies, very likeable. But in this film, he's a man with like a really kind of tortured past, and he's clearly like those moments where it's just him, you see that the fallibility in his character is shaking hands. There's so much about his character he brings, but it's on like a film as such as that, which is an ensemble piece. He still manages to ascend to that role, which is like, oh, this guy's fantastic in everything he does. I think Saving Private Ryan is an incredible movie. It's just one of those that I didn't see at the cinema. I remember my friends and recommending it to me in like the late, I think it's like 96 or 7. Though, you got to watch this movie. The opening like 10 minutes are insane, and I'm thinking like, oh, I want to see this because it sounds
one of
insane.
the best opening 10 minutes in cinema history.
Exactly what I was going to say.
It's a great pick. I think it has to be on that list.
Yeah.
That realism of war, what soldiers actually went through. The fact that you got Spielberg at his absolute best as well. The fact that the two of them go on to produce loads of war stuff together after this film.
It's intrinsically linked to Band of Brothers. I mean, The Pacific was decent as well, but Band of Brothers was exceptional TV, and it does such a great job. This and Band of Brothers of like creating that. The camaraderie of the group, almost like Predator, I guess, in a way, where you've got this like certain films that do that really well. Go back to like The Dirty Dozen, etc. Films that can really pull that off. Just make such a big difference. They resonate so much more. And you're absolutely right. Like Band of Brothers does an exceptional job of that with a stellar cast, acted tremendously well.
Saving Private Ryan. You said Band of Brothers. Yeah.
Well, both.
Both.
But
like
I said, they're intrinsically linked. If I talk about one, I feel like I'm talking about them both.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, it's a great pick. Etok.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, Etok.
Well done.
The idiot you look like.
It was on...
NIGE.
It was up there for me, but I'm still toying with which ones. But yeah, I'm going to pick my film.
Go on, then.
Big.
Yeah?
I've got to pick Big. I've got to pick Big. I can't not pick Big.
So, just first up, we have done this on the pod, so if you want extra detail, please go and listen to that.
If you want big.
But Nige, why Big?
Because it's fucking brilliant, isn't it? It's so good. It is a classic. It's kind of, again, there's nostalgia doing a bunch on this, but it's the perfect scenario of you always want to be that little bit older and have that opportunity to do certain things, and then you kind of, that realization of what you've got is so priceless, and the kind of development of Tom Hanks, the fact he gets to do weird things with an older lady which wouldn't fly these days, and all that kind of stuff. But it's just so well acted. It's so memorable. There's great scenes kind of littered throughout. There's the his character develops. His understanding of how the world works develops. He gets to dance on a giant piano he gets his dream job. There's just loads of little bits, and I'm sure we discussed this in so much more detail during the pod we did before, which I do recommend people go back and listen to. I just think it's that perfect timepiece. I guess it encapsulates that period of the kind of mid to late 80s, the kind of that way of like looking at the world. But then there's also the kind of slightly more jarring bits of like how his mother in that, she's so good, and like Josh and like her reaction to getting him back and everything else. And of course Zoltar as well. Where would we be without the wonderful machine where you can make your wish? So yeah, for me it's got a little bit of everything from that kind of I don't know, it hasn't got a little bit of everything. It hasn't got an Omaha beach storming, for instance, but it's just that kind of really nice, easy to watch, family friendly film that's got more substance to it than you would imagine. There's been a lot of kind of comparable films like your Freaky Fridays and the one with Judge Reinhold in that I can't remember the name of, but this one just did it to an exceptional level. And I just think he plays that kind of boyish charm so well in this film. I know there's a bunch of others he did during the 80s, similar period, that I'm not going to call out now because we may come across them again whilst we go through this top 6. But yeah, I just think he's brilliant in it, and it's very enjoyable. So why would you not want to go and watch Big, and why would you not rank it as one of his top 6 films?
Fair enough. I think, you touched upon it there, but this was very much in that first phase of Tom Hanks. So the lovable kind of, like some of those other films that we might talk about, and then he kind of goes into the more serious roles after like Philadelphia and stuff like that. But it's a great shout. It's a great film. I think we all rated it very highly.
I was going to ask, maybe not give away the exact scores in case people do want to go listen back, but I'm going to assume it was pretty solid across the board.
And I think it kind of surprised me watching it back again at how fantastic it is, because like Tom Hanks, you fully invest in the fact that he is a kid in this film, and it's like, I think we said it on the episode, it's like, he plays that so well. But I mean, it's just a testament to what a great actor he is, that you can talk about Saving Private Ryan and in the next breath talk about Big. It's such range.
Like I agree with both of you guys. Like Big is fantastic, and I think in a weird way, often what gets overlooked is Hanks's performance. I think more people look at the film for what it is, and it's just like, oh, Tom Hanks is a young kid in an adult's body, but that requires such a performance on the part of Hanks, and like Nige said, he does it so well. And I just love, for me, watching that film as a youngster, seeing him in the offices coming up with ideas for Transformers and stuff. I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever, because obviously those jobs exist. You know, you're sitting in a meeting, and I love that scene where he's there going, what about, you know, they're going, a Transformer that turns into a building, and he's like, why? What's so good about a building?
I don't get it.
What are you doing? It's a building. I don't get it.
It flies.
Yeah, he goes, what about a one that turns into a robot, a dinosaur, and then and then the rest of the supporting cast as well. I forget his name, but the guy who does the wonderful I don't get it. It's like the love interest. Him, he's great.
Is that Peter McAllister out of Home Alone?
Yes, it is. The guy who plays it with like pickleball or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's
John
really
Hurd.
John Hurd, there you go. He's great in it. Not only is Big a wonderful look at being a child, like what it is to be a child, that innocence, but it's also, like he said, it's the time of when this film came out. It's just a more innocent time. If this film came out now, it would be so cynical.
Piano lessons? 3 years. Me too. Every day after school.
Nicely said. Well, we're all pretty much agreeing, all right, so far. NIGE, back to you again. What's your second pick out of your 11?
It's really difficult. I've got like 3 or 4 that are almost identical. I could choose any of them. But because I'm an 80s child, I can't not go for this film. And this film, I don't think will be on either of your lists, but Etop probably knows what it is. It's The Burbs.
The Burbs, yeah. As soon as she said 80s, I was like, what would he... I thought The Money Pit? No.
I thought maybe Splash.
I always forget he's in Splash.
Dragnet.
I forgot.
The Burbs. Why Burbs?
Because... Again, it's just a film I absolutely love. It's a film very much of its era. Like, you forget how amazing the cast is. Like, Carrie Fisher off of the back of Star Wars in this.
Yeah.
You got Bruce Dern as well. You've got Corey Feldman. Who else?
Bit of Feldman.
Yeah, and Henry Gibson as well. Plus, it's directed by Joe Dante. I mean, I've said many a time how much of a fan I am of, like, Gremlins, Erie, Indiana, the TV show as well. He's got such a distinct style of how he makes his films. And it's just... It could have been like a really soapy, throwaway, boring kind of film, but it's got lovely elements of kind of like mystery, a little bit of horror, lots of comedy. And it's just, it's about like suburban folk who aren't going to sort of take things lying down anymore and kind of prize on that idea of like nosy neighbours and like knowing your community, fearing outsiders. But it's just got such a lovely payoff. And it's just, again, it's one of those classic films that if it would come on, I'd watch it any time of year, any time of day. It's it's not a particularly long film. It's not a particularly complex film. It's just really well shot, really well scripted, really well acted, really well put together. And if anything, maybe it doesn't necessarily showcase like a wide range of Tom Hanks, but he does everything he needs to in this film so well. And I love the bit at the end where he like finally kind of like loses his mind and he's trying to tell everyone basically what's going on. He's tried to be like the sensible one all the way through, the kind of like the doubting Tom, so to speak, and it finally gets to that point where he breaks, and it's just a wonderful combination of just everything that builds out during the film. The only downside is today I found out that they're actually doing a TV show version of The Burbs, which
is already out.
Yeah, which has got none other than Jack Whitehall in playing the Tom Hanks role, which makes me feel awful. Very, very angry. But aside from that little fact, I think it's even more reason to go back, watch The Burbs, indulge in an 80s classic, and just feel... I don't know, just feel that lovely suburbia feeling of what this film is. But yeah, there's many others I could have chosen, but I do love The Burbs.
I was going to say, it's quite funny with NIGE's choices. They're grounded less in, and I don't mean this as a slight against your choices, which I agree with.
Fuck you.
I don't.
Number 5 and 6,
They're not necessarily. No, they're not necessarily about the performance necessarily. They're more about the vibe,
the enjoyment factor.
Like like Nige is talking about 2 80s movies that are so intrinsically 80s, and we just said you can't remake big today because it would be cynical and that. And just the same with the Burbs. Like, from what I've understood of the reviews I've read of this series, it just doesn't get it. It's like they've just, another classic example of piggybacking off an existing IP to go, well, here's our show, we're going to call it The Burbs and make it 6 episodes or whatever, and it's going to be received like a fart in church. I remember, I haven't seen this film in a long time, but I always enjoyed it. It always made me laugh. Like the scene that still makes me laugh, because it's like, how is that in a movie like this? But it's Ray, this is Walter. Ah! The camera going back. It's such a good shot. Or like, I remember like the dream sequence. I remember being like really scary. Where he's his friend in the film, like his close friend, has got like dressed up like a devil, like he's what is he, the milkshake man or the ice cream man that butchers people, and it's really grim, and he's got like this blood shake, and it's really really kind of eerie. But what I was laughing about, there was a moment when Nigel was talking about the film, and I suddenly thought, oh my goodness, after that dream sequence, he wakes up to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, like it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and it's like he's gone on to play Mr. Rogers in a recent film.
Yeah,
it's like
a beautiful
I didn't
day
even
in the neighborhood. That was close to my top.
I haven't seen it. I love Mr. Rogers, but I didn't put the two together until like Nigel was talking about this. But yeah, The Burbs is it's one I'd love us to do on the pod, because it's I want to watch it again, but I want to have like, an immersive reason to do so.
Yeah.
But great. It's on Sky at the moment, like because of the TV series. The film is available just to.
They're cashing in on the TV show. Yeah.
But I think that's a great choice, Nige.
It's a really interesting pick because it's not one I considered, and it's a weird one because I used to watch this film over and over again when I was young. And
really?
Yeah, it was like one of those films that is just, for me, just so rewatchable. But like Etok, I actually haven't seen it in so long that's, like now I've kind of given it a break for long enough because I've probably watched it too much. But yeah, I just loved like the whole aesthetic of the film, the setting of the film. Like Tom Hanks is so good playing this kind of, like slightly nervous kind of wreck in this film, but also like that almost Tim Burton setting is really well done.
Good shout.
But yeah, I need to see it again. So it's a little bit hard for me to say, oh, that's definitely going to go into my top 6 just because it's been a while. But I would say on past evidence, a bit like how I probably felt about Big before we did it on the pod. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I could absolutely see Joe Dante.
He's such a good director.
It's weird.
Such a distinct style.
Overlooked, I would say, as a director.
Definitely. Well, I think part of the reason for that is obviously in recent times his career's kind of fallen away a little bit, but he's got some real highs.
Ray, come here. What is it?
My neighbor.
Hey, one of the Huns came out of the cave.
Etok, what's your next one?
Oh, I feel like I'm picking the obvious ones, but that's because I really love them. Forrest Gump.
Nice.
Film I went to.
You picked Smith's other choice.
I just felt like running.
I mean, it has to go on the list, so
it has to. But
it wasn't in my 11.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. Wow. No, I went. My friends and I went to the cinema to see this blind, as in we had no idea. Oh, it's a film called Forrest Gump. Wonder what this is going to be like, and we all just fell in love with that movie. I don't know if it was just the cinema experience, the surround sound of being in Vietnam with the bullets racing past your head, which was as intense as you can imagine. But I just think this movie's great. I understand, like these days it has more critics than I think it did because it's not considered to be exactly. I guess PC to some degree. There's a lot of issues these days with people playing. Tom Hanks isn't mentally slow. Therefore, he should not be allowed to play somebody who's mentally slow, which to me is a bit like, I don't know.
I don't know
like,
if there is loads. Maybe there is. But
there, I mean, you get that in certain circles, let's be
I
honest.
think some people
find
it a bit sickly sweet. I think there's maybe that element.
Yeah,
to
which I get. But I really love this movie. I love his performance. I love the structure of the film, the kind of the framing of it. Is he like me? It's one of those kind of really quotable movies as well. But I love him.
Got no legs.
Again, like I said with Saving Private Ryan, two very different movies, but two movies where if I'm flicking channels, I'm like, right, Forrest Gump's on, I'm just going to watch this, and I really, really love this movie. It's got a lot of heart in it. Yeah, it can be considered like a bit sickly sweet, but yeah, there's so much about this movie I could go on about, and his performance I think is fantastic. There you go, Forrest Gump.
Did you cover this in your favourite films of the 90s, Smith?
I think it probably was, and I'm probably going to say the same things. I feel like, in my opinion, the Tom Hanks top six, this was definitely like one of my two. And
Bobby Zemeckis.
Yeah, Bobby Zemeckis again, who we obviously recently spoke about. I also love the kind of fantasy element of this film. It just takes you out of, like it kind of plays on the kind of the realm of disbelief, but it's so well done that, like at the time I remember some of the historical nods in the film, like it's just really, now you just go, but back then I was like, oh wow, how have they done that? But
it was like him with Lennon, him with
the fact that he teaches Nixon. There's no, like some of that, and it's that balance of comedy and drama, and I get the kind of argument that it's a bit schmaltzy or whatever, but I think that's a good
sometimes
thing.
You can do that.
It's like, sometimes Hollywood can be like that unapologetically, and you just get a really nice good film. But like you say, like Hanks's performance in it is outstanding, and I haven't heard that kind of like what some people would criticize of that, but I think, like, if anything, it should be applauded that you have someone that is playing that, because it's never played for laughs, that role.
Well, look at I was going to say, not to deviate from this thing, but Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade. That's an amazing performance.
But
I think for me, this kind of like solidified Tom Hanks as like the Cary Grant of like the kind of 80s, 90s generation, in the sense of like,
good shout.
Became like that kind of everyman that could be in almost any film, and he's not necessarily a chameleon, but in the sense of like he can just do certain films and be that certain actor and just be so loved. I don't think there's an actor out there that certainly during this period was as beloved as Tom Hanks is. And I think maybe for me it was like the overexposure of this film and the fact people just kept going on about it so much for so long. It kind of has like dented my view of it a little bit. But it's certainly extremely memorable. I think Robin Wright Penn in this film, as she was known at the time, is fantastic. Obviously Bubba Gump and all that kind of stuff as well. There's a lot to like about this film, and it's got, I remember it having an amazing soundtrack. But if we're talking specifically about Tom Hanks, he does it in such a way that it's believable, and at no point during the film are you not kind of on his side. You are caught up in that story, you are backing him all the way, and come the end of the film, it pulls on the heartstrings. It's definitely that type of film. I can totally understand why people still love this film or continue to love this film. It will be looked back on as somewhat of a classic in future generations, I would have thought. And it obviously did particularly well in terms of like awards and recognition and all that kind of stuff around this period too.
Go! What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius.
So we have 5 films. I have got the last pick here, which feels like quite a lot of pressure. So
you're wrong, Smith. Don't get it wrong.
As you know, my 2 films were Captain Phillips and Forrest Gump. My reserve was Saving Private Ryan. So we're into the reserve of the reserves here.
I reckon
I've got 2 in mind, and I'm struggling to pick
C to the A. That's what I say.
C to the A.
Is that so? That is definitely one. So Castaway is one of them, and Catch Me If You Can is the other one.
Not bad.
Because
neither of those were on my list.
what I'm amazed at what will be. Is yours just the 80s? Did you know?
Bachelor Party.
I think there's only 3 from the 80s on my list.
Well, maybe we'll get to that in a
4
second.
actually. Sorry.
So maybe as this is, I think I'm going to go for Castaway. I think Catch Me If You Can, just to give it a quick shout out, is a really enjoyable film that you could stick on like whenever, and I think it's probably overlooked sometimes at how good it is. But Castaway I watched again, and again another Robert Zemeckis film teaming up, but I just like, like it's obviously been made fun of a lot over the years, but if you go back and watch this film, it's Tom Hanks on his own acting for pretty much the whole film, and it's just such an incredible performance to captivate you on screen for that amount of time, for 2 hours or whatever it is. It's a wholesome film, but you're encouraged to escape in this film, and there is something about this kind of survival story that kind of just captivates humankind generally. But I remember the opening of this film as well, the plane crash, and I thought that was so well done, because you're kind of like that kind of action like thrust of that, and then you're into him surviving for 2 hours. So I think it probably deserves to go on this list.
Just for Wilson, it deserves to go.
What do you guys think of Castaway?
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's a bit of a Tom Hanks tour de force in the sense of, I remember there being a lot of stuff written about it at the time, about how much weight he lost, obviously, for the role, about how you have to be someone captivating to keep people's interest for that long, especially when there's not necessarily that much other stuff that happens. But you're right, that Robinson Crusoe vibe, the fact that Tom Hanks is a very easy person to root for, sort of no matter who he plays, almost, even in like slightly more nefarious films, there's still that element of like the twinkle in the eye, the Cary Grant-ism, as I kind of discussed earlier. It is, again, it's one of those films, again, I feel like maybe overexposure, like when it came out. Maybe I'm just one of those people that just, I don't like it because everyone likes it, kind of that. I've definitely got that.
It's been on a lot as well, I think.
Yeah, but no, I think it is a quality film. I think, again, like we've kind of mentioned, a lot of these picks like Zemeckis, Spielberg, they're kind of conventional films but made to a really high standard. They're not like films with like massive twists or that kind of take you off the beaten track, but they're just done so well, and they're so absorbing that you can just really enjoy them. And I think, again, Tom Hanks in this is pretty brilliant, to be honest. So yeah, I kind of, the one thing about it though is the plane crash, yes. Like what actually happens in the film, it's quite difficult to remember, like, because a lot of films you can kind of remember the points that kind of take you on the journey, so to speak, or specific scenes. All I really remember is plane crash, Wilson, Tom Hanks gets picked up eventually. I think anything else in between I can remember.
I think the ending though is one of the most profound things.
I love that,
because
with the crossroads.
But also the fact that everybody's moved on once he gets back. His is it Helen Hunt? Is she the love?
Helen Hunt,
and she's like married some
mum, his wife.
Yeah.
Maybe I misheard that. Sorry.
His love interest. I said, not his mum. But she's moved on, and I think that that kind of, it would have been very easy for them to just plonk him back into life, and he's just like,
you're back.
But the fact that. And like you say, that literal crossroads at the end.
It's so good.
But yeah,
I can't believe they cut the scene when he tries to inflate Wilson.
So that's the thing. Like Smith said that it's people find it funny. I don't think they find it funny. I think that scene with Wilson is. I remember in the cinema we were all sat there going like, no, you. I remember at the time we, as an audience, invested in Wilson because he made it feel like such a real character. I mean, we all knew it was just a ball with a bloodied handprint on and a face drawn into it, but it was the connection. It was his, like, one thing tethering him to some sort of reality. And so when he's like, when Wilson drifts out to sea, it's funny because it's just like, it's almost like, I'm sorry, Wilson, and it's just like, oh man, he's lost that, he's lost his only friend, and then he the whole scene's like we like I think Nige said, it's just him surviving on an island. It is that is it. That's the man has to carry that film in his performance, and obviously the writing and directing goes a long way to doing that. You can't just have man survives on island. There he goes. He caught a fish. Well done. It's all the different things he does, and like he goes through the physical changes and stuff. And yeah, like I it's quite funny. I rewatched it. I'd say about 5 or so years ago, and I'd forgotten the ending. I remember like the actual ending.
Yeah.
The part Smith said, I'd forgot that when he goes to like back, everybody had kind of somewhat moved on. We thought you were dead. You know, it's been this many years or whatever. And it is really sad, but it is that thing of life does go on, and that's why that movie ends. I really love that shot where you get that. I think it might be the first shot of the movie as well. It's like a crossroads with like a post box, and then it's the one of the last shots of the movie where it's like, yeah, it's a bit on the nose. It's like he's at a crossroads in his life, but at the same time, I think it's beautiful because it's like, oh, this woman. I think he meets this woman. She's like, oh, I'm going this way or whatever, and it's just like, oh, there's a new love interest. There's a new chapter possibly in his life which he thought was long gone. So yeah, his performance in that movie is an amazing character piece.
Yeah.
I did it. Fire! There you go! Light it up! Come on! The dawn of the dead and through!
The movie is like, for me, it's right. It was on my. I wrote down 4 films. We haven't actually talked about one, but the other 3 were on there.
What were your, just out of interest then?
So my 4 were in no particular order. So I had Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan, but then I had Castaway and Philadelphia.
Okay. Yeah.
I've never actually seen Philadelphia.
Oh,
wow!
It's one of those films I've always wanted to watch. Just haven't. Sorry, go on, Ethan.
I'm not going to spoil it. It was one of those films that I watched probably before I was like had a real love for movies, which would have happened in my, I would say, late teens, early 20s was when I really learned to appreciate, you know, I'd seen lots of films, but that was when I really learned to love the art of movie making. But I saw Philadelphia about a year or 2 after it came out on Sky, and I was like in the, like Banderas is in it, obviously Denzel is in it, Denzel Washington, and it's just it's an incredible movie. It's powerful, it's moving, it's everything. It just captivates a certain time when you know, like,
yeah, obviously the whole
AIDS, HIV, all that stuff was looked at in such a, I mean, this was hot off the back of the 80s, so the filmmakers weren't making some fantasy. This is like, no, this shit existed. This is how people were treated, and it's heartbreaking, but it's also like, it's really empowering at times when you watch the film. Fuck me, I've got to watch it again at some point very soon.
It's weird because I bought it on VHS thinking, right, I've got to watch this film, and watched it and thought, like, it's an incredible film, incredible performance, but it's the kind of film that I've not really gone and watched again because it's not a
rewatch.
harrowing.
It's not like, I can't wait to watch again.
Put off watching it because it's like
there's never a right time. But it changed Tom Hanks's career as well. You know, it's like basically took him from Sleepless in Seattle into what we know today as, like you said,
it is crazy when you think that. When you look at his Wikipedia, when I was looking at his movies, it's like you got all these 80s ones, which, as we've touched upon, like so many fantastic movies, but it's a certain type of movie, a certain type of role, like we said, Splash. Then you get to Philadelphia, and after that, it suddenly goes, oh, hang on, it goes serious. Another film that I wrote down just on a piece of paper as I was making notes. The old paper movie is a film that I've kind of seen clips of, and I really want to see the whole thing because it's got two of my favourite people in, Tom Hanks and Philip Seymour Hoffman, Charlie Wilson's War.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that.
Yeah.
Have you...
I watched it with my mother-in-law, and there's a scene where there's boobs in it, and I was like, this is very awkward. It wasn't just me and her, it was also
I was going to say, you should have put your own boobs away, man. Stop flashing.
I thought, this will be a fine film for her to enjoy. Boobs.
Straight away.
A film I watched recently that surprised me, A Man Called Otto, I thought was, I mean, it's nowhere near the top 6.
Never even heard of it.
But it's a remake of a German film.
It's quite recent, well, I say recent, 2022, but I thought, oh, what's this going to be like? But actually, it was really good. It's basically like a
grumpy old man.
It's like Up, but in visualised form.
Yeah,
okay.
But yeah, really surprised me. Nige, what was some of your that didn't make it on the list
I
before
think
we
the thing
get
with
into
Tom
ordering
Hanks
these?
that's worth mentioning is like he is someone that has so many films that are 7 out of 10 or above, and quite a lot of them are at least 8 out of 10. Does he have loads of 10 out of 10s? Maybe not, but he doesn't necessarily need to when you're that prolific with being a great actor and in so many great films. And a lot of them I just have real soft spots. So a couple of the 80s films that were on my sort of long list, we touched upon Splash. I think it was kind of quintessential of the time, kind of made a star of him, made I can't remember what her name is, the one from Kill Bill. Daryl Hannah as well at the time, just incredible. John Candy, just like a really, really enjoyable film, like really light but funny and enjoyable. And then Dragnet as well, which for me kind of sits in that kind of same box as like films like Spies Like Us or Fletch and things like that, where it's just like it's like charming kind of wink comedy that doesn't take itself too seriously. Like Tom Hanks is, well, Dan Aykroyd is the ultimate kind of straight man, which was completely against type, and then you got Tom Hanks being this like crazy sidekick kind of thing, and it's just a really enjoyable, easy to watch film that I just really have fond memories of, albeit I haven't watched in ages. And then kind of getting a little bit more modern, like Philadelphia was on my list. That Thing You Do, I don't know if you've ever actually seen That Thing You Do. No. He doesn't have the biggest role in the film, but he actually directed it as well, and it's got Colin Hanks in as the lead, and it's basically about like I think it's like a 1950s, maybe 60s band that he puts together, and he's the manager, or no, he discovers and becomes the manager of, and it's got an amazing soundtrack. It's just a really light, easy to watch, enjoyable film. It's not up there with his best, but for me, again, it's just like a bit of a cult classic and a favourite. And then I've debated, like you mentioned Sleepless in Seattle, Apollo 13 as well, were both almost on the list, because it's very topical at the moment as well, of course. But ones I did add, like The Green Mile. So really like solid film, not quite Shawshank, but still a really enjoyable film. Michael Clarke Duncan is exceptional in that. Philadelphia, like I've always been keen to watch, and I know it's supposed to be amazing. I really liked him in Road to Perdition as well, which is kind of a little bit forgotten of a film. He plays kind of like a sort
he's a villain in it, isn't he? He's brilliant. But I saw that at the cinema. I haven't seen it since. So
I think Paul Newman's in it as well, right?
Yes.
Again, I think I saw it at the cinema years ago, and I think like Jude Law as well. And I just remember him again. It was really against type, and he's just such a brooding presence in a film, which is something you would never really say about Tom Hanks. And then the last one was A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which again you mentioned. I just think he's brilliant in it. He's so good in it, and it's just a really interesting, well put together film, which he plays so earnestly, which is great for that type of character, and it's just very heartwarming, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But again, Tom Hanks, I think we could do 30 films where you could say you should go away and watch this and you will enjoy it, and that is testament to how brilliant an actor he is and how well he chooses his projects as well, to be honest.
That's true.
I did leave out A League of Their Own as well, which I absolutely love.
I was actually going to bring that up because one of the things that I like about that, Nigel was talking earlier about like playing against type. That's very much one of where he plays like this grumpy, out of shape, middle-aged man,
Jimmy Dugan.
Yeah, just very, very much against the kind of roles he was playing leading up to that moment. It's just like, oh wow, Tom Hanks is like a bit of a dick in this movie. Doesn't he come into like the women's locker room initially and just pees in the sink almost?
Yeah, he's just there's no crying in baseball. There's so many great lines in that. And
that's a really good one.
That's another great ensemble cast as well. And again, he's not the star of that film necessarily, but he carries so much weight in it. And it's Penny Marshall as well, did a great job directing that.
Of course, it's
Penny Marshall. She did Big, right? Yeah,
she did.
Okay, so these are the 6 films that we have come to between us: Captain Phillips, Saving Private Ryan, Big, The Burbs, Forrest Gump, and Castaway.
I've written down my order.
I'm quite happy to concede Captain Phillips 6th, knowing that Etok hasn't seen it, which I think is fair.
It's 6 for me on the list.
Fine.
Well, based on that, I'm happy to put The Burbs at 5, even though I love it.
Okay.
Oh, oddly, I've got The Burbs at 5 as well, Nige.
Okay, I'm happy with that because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's why I put it there, because you two will, but I would put it much higher.
I would.
Okay.
I think my number one. In fact, let's not go for number 1 yet. Number 4. So we've got Big, Saving Private Ryan, Forrest Gump, and Castaway.
I think Castaway is fourth.
That's what I've got already.
I'd go with that. I think
this is a negotiation.
I think, yeah, between. If I'm being honest, like Castaway and Big, I could probably swap, but I will. I think that's fine. So 3.
This is where I think we're going to disagree.
This is where we're
probably
going. I think Big should probably come here.
I've got 3 as Big. Yeah.
I've got it as 2, but yeah. Fine.
Oh, interesting.
I've been outvoted.
Okay.
So
3 is Big. So you would have Forrest Gump, obviously.
I've got Forrest Gump as 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Forrest Gump as 3.
So I think we're all agreed at what number 1 is.
We're pretty much like.
That was pretty easy.
I would swap it with the Burbs. It's just because I've been very obligating. I think you're completely wrong. And number 1 should be Big, number 2 should be the Burbs, and number 3 should be Saving Private Ryan.
So
but that's another story.
Here we go. Number 6, Captain Phillips. Number 5, The Burbs. Number 4, Castaway. Number 3, Big. Number 2, Forrest Gump. And number 1, Saving Private Ryan. That is our joint top 6 Tom Hanks.
Just a random order of Tom Hanks films. Nay! Wilson says nay.
Are there, all right, here's a question. Are there any on that list where you would... I mean, obviously you haven't seen Captain Phillips. Are there any on that list where you say that should definitely not be on that list at all?
I mean, I can only, like... Captain Phillips is the only one, because I haven't seen it. So
Yeah,
that's anything
I think
can
that's...
say, like, I'd pop Philadelphia in there. If I pop Philadelphia in there, suddenly the list changes, because I know Philadelphia is one of my favourite Hanks films, so that would shove...
That would come up. Fair enough.
I think Big would still be 3. I think Philadelphia would go 4 for me, and then Castaway 5, and then... yeah, something like that.
Well, what do you... sorry, to go to another audience, what do you think is the highest ranked IMDb Tom Hanks film?
Okay, highest on IMDb, highest rated Tom Hanks film.
I reckon it might be Toy Story 2.
I can't believe we didn't... like, Sleepless in Seattle was a classic as well, but anyway...
I'm going to... Smith's got a good shout.
I didn't even think of that.
I think
Jesus.
I'm going to go Big, I think.
What are you going to go with an answer? We know you always go Big, E-Talk.
Sorry, yeah. Smith's going to go Toy Story 2, which I think is a great shout. I'm going to go Big.
You know, the other film we didn't talk about was Elvis. Wow.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that was... Yeah.
Who does he play? The Colonel, I'm guessing?
Yeah. He plays Elvis.
He plays Elvis.
He plays Priscilla.
Oh, yeah. He plays Priscilla.
So Tom Hanks has 3 films in the top 25 on IMDb.
Wow.
Go on. I mean, Saving Private Ryan has got to be in the top...
I reckon it's that and Gump.
Yeah.
I reckon those 2 are in the top 25.
Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan, and maybe one of the Toy Stories.
So Forrest Gump has an 8.8 and is ranked 12th, and that is the highest.
Yeah.
The second is... Saving Private Ryan with 8.6. The third, also with 8.6, but slightly lower, The Green Mile.
Oh, wow.
Okay, there you go.
So I was quite surprised by that as well. And then beyond that, you have to go a fair bit down to find the next one. So
Green Mile. Yeah. It's a great film. I mean, if one of you brought that to the table, I wouldn't have disagreed. So there you go.
Toy Story is 78th.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, I am. But anyway, that is our top 6. Guys, what would yours be? I'm sure there'll be a few that you sub in and sub out. Let us know. Email us on afraidourpod@gmail.com. Tweet us at afraidourpodcast. Give us another one of these to do. Be interested in who we could do in future.
Do you fancy sending us a film to review or letting us know your thoughts on a film that we have discussed? All of your comments will be read out in our end of season leaderboard episode. Email us on offradarpod@gmail.com